Okay, cool. Real quick. Um, I might as well just jump in real quick. For all of you who have been, man, I'm like stumbling all over my words today. For everybody who's joining today or this week, we have a special guest. He is not one of our winners from the film festival, but instead, he came across uh, through Facebook, and I saw the trailer, and I was hooked, and I had to cyber stalk him. So here shortly, I'll introduce the man who, if you're watching us on YouTube, you get to see who he is. But if you're listening to us, I'll do a quick introduction. But real quick, admin wise, I wanted to thank everybody who's been sharing, liking, and subscribing. We've had a lot of increase in momentum for film news, which I appreciate, especially because we are back. We're coming back. And I love the fact that we are having a lot of content creators, directors. Last week we had somebody in the wrestling business who is also in the film industry, part of the film noobs. And if you are a content creator, hit us up. We would love to watch your movie, talk shit with you, not about you. But yeah, hit us up on silentflightmedia.com. No, Film Noobs doesn't have an actual email. We're too cheap for that. So yeah, just hit us up at our parent company. Other than that, let's welcome our guest for this week, Sam Gaffin. I got that correct?
Yes, that's it.
That's it. All right, cool. So Sam Gaffin, he is a comic book artist. He is a graphic designer, an animator, film connoisseur, and I'll explain why he's a film connoisseur in a little bit. And a musician, right?
Yeah.
Did I forget anything?
I think you got it all. Yeah. There's probably other stuff, but I forget.
Writer, director, actor.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get into something new.
All right, so real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself from your mouth.
Okay, let's see. Who am I? Well,
Who are you?
I'm Sam, and I just directed a movie called Robotica Destructiva, and it's based on these robot characters, and basically it all came out from a band that I put together years ago with my friends Charles Harris, Samuel Williams, and Mike McGowan, called the Killer Robots. And it started out, we had big dreams of doing like a multimedia project of basically based on these robot characters, Otto, Trog, Max, and Strobo. And we did little comic books, like photo comics. We dressed up in our costumes and took pictures and photoshopped them into all these scenes. So we did like one little comic book, and then we did an animated like holiday special. I think it was it was just a cartoon. We did a holiday special too, where we got together and we filmed some weird time travel thing with Santa Claus and Satan, and it turned out to be the same person at the end. And let's see, what else did we do? We kind of bounced around. We were playing a lot of shows around town, and yeah, we eventually we made a movie called The Killer Robots in the Battle for the Cosmic Potato, which was really low budget and had some really primitive special effects, and but it was a good time and we learned a lot. Yeah. So we did another one where we did all practical effects to avoid the cheap CGI. So we built everything out of like recyclable plastics and old toys we'd get from flea markets, and we glue them together, and we'd come up with all these weird robotic monsters and creatures, and we bashed them together in Adobe After Effects, and before you know it, we had another movie. And then we just did Robotica Destructiva, where we went back to CGI, and kind of a mix between CGI and the recyclable type of models, and a couple of little stop motion characters in there you can probably spot if you look out for them.
Cool. Yeah, and I totally forgot to actually say the name of the movie that we were going to talk about first. Because I got so excited because I'm actually talking to you, and I've been wanting to talk to you, and some of our listeners might not know this. It actually took us a little bit longer than what it would have, because we had some issues and whatnot.
Right.
Getting you know path crossing. But before then, it took me, man, almost about, I want to say, 2 weeks to find a way of reaching you, because
Oh,
every
really?
site I went onto, I couldn't find a direct email to you. It
Oh.
was like, leave a comment here. And I'm like, no, I don't want to leave a comment. I want to talk to the man. I want to just direct connection to him. It's like, I need the man who knows the man or something.
Right,
But
right.
anyways, but yeah, it took me a minute, but luckily we're talking. But yes,
Yeah.
the biggest reason I reached out to you was because, like I said, on Facebook, your recent movie, Robotica Destructiva, yeah, I like saying it
That's
that way,
it.
showed up, and I was like, wow. And the trailer, and for those of you guys, if you get a chance to, and I'm gonna put a link to it, check it out. Check out just the trailer alone. It's gonna hook you in. It was badass. It was crazy, cheesy goodness, lo-fi, oh man, sci-fi. It was a mash of a lot of things. Like you said, it was a multimedia project, and when you get a hold of something like that, it like really turns you on, and you're like, heck yeah, I want to see this. And
Yeah.
once I saw
Yeah.
it, and then I noticed that you had two more other films, which is Killer Robots Crash and Burn, and then you had the other one, Killer Robots. I'm reading it because I don't remember everything.
Okay.
Against the Cosmic, Battle for the Cosmic
Oh,
Potato.
yeah, it's a long one.
um, yeah, I was like, dude, so this guy's got a whole world to this. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to talk to him. He's my kind of guy. Um, and basically, because again, with Film Noobs, our platform is independent filmmakers, and
Mhm.
so far you are the man right now.
Yeah,
You have
thanks,
a
man.
world. You have a comic book to go with your films, and you have a band.
One
So yeah,
issue.
hey, bro, you're killing it. So
Yeah.
how did the whole killer robot world come about, though?
I was just basically uh something I'd always thought about. I had a picture in my head of robots on a stage playing instruments, and even though I didn't know how to play an instrument at the time, I still wanted to
Yeah.
do it. And um, how that all came about, I don't know. Probably Saturday morning cartoons. That's what I tell everybody. Saturday morning cartoons, movies from the '80s, that RoboCop and
Yeah.
Terminator, all that stuff. Oh, Guar, I got to say Guar, of course. That's a
Yeah.
huge influence, and stuff like that would just cobble together. And it's like, I think we can do something, kind of like that, but a little bit different. And it's hard to tell where ideas come from. They just and of course, once the other guys came on board, and then it transformed even more.
Okay.
I think Mike had suggested, oh, we should come from space. And I was like, well, all right, because I had um some elaborate story about how we were created by this corporation on Earth and all this stuff. And but he said space. I was like, all right, that sounds way better. So that, and then like the guy that plays this character called Strobo, he came up. Well, actually, we came up with all our own designs and stuff. But yeah, and everybody's personalities, they kind of inform the characters. So yeah, I don't think I could take credit for everything. It's like everybody just kind of, once they're on board, it's like okay, that character's something that very unique. And yeah, pretty much after a while it becomes a what would you call it, um, big old multi-part Voltron type robot
Yeah.
machine.
Well, because
Yeah.
when I saw it, right, I got feelings of one of the old Transformers 80s, the old
Mhm.
80s cartoon.
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, oh man, this is like a live action Transformers. And then I was like,
right.
okay, it also reminds me of some of the Kiss movies.
Okay,
You know how
yeah,
they,
yeah.
yeah. And then I was like, man, it's black and white. So this kind of gives me a little feel of more modern.
Mhm.
Which one was it? The one Robert Rodriguez filmed it. It was in black and white. What
Oh,
was
the
it?
Sin City, was it?
Yeah, Sin City. There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And so Oh, and then the last thing that kind of clicked into me, and I don't know if you've ever remembered watching it. It was a kids cartoon on HBO called Crash Robot.
Oh wow.
Oh, Cashbot.
Okay.
Crashbot. I'm sorry, Crashbot?
Crash bot.
Crash Box. Crash Box, yes. My wife's
Okay.
over there like, no,
Oh
you're stupid. You got the
yeah.
wrong name. I told you
I'll write
already a
that
million
down.
times. Yeah, Crash Box.
Crash box.
And so it was a mash of a lot of things. And I was like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
dude. So every time I watched something, I would pick little nitpicks here and there and everything. And of course, it's lo-fi because it is meshed together. But
Mhm.
when you put it together, the formula was just on point. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Cool.
It because a lot of times you get taken out of
Mhm.
the film because of some little nitpicky, or like the soda
Right.
can was one and now it's whatever. But this one is like, dude, it's meant to be that way. It that's cool,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah, that's
loved
really
it.
cool.
I really loved it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. I really liked how it came together. You know, it's like every movie you kind of look at and like, okay, there's probably more I could have did to fix that, but you just kind of but this is what it is. You put it out. But this one I felt like a lot of the pieces fell where they were supposed to, and and I've seen it so many hundreds of times because I had to edit it
Yeah.
together, and it's like I would still get kind of caught up in it, the story, even though I had seen it kind of develop over hundreds, maybe thousands of times. But yeah.
Now I got a question here for you.
Mhm.
When we're talking about like, and you kind of brought it up a little bit. Just make sure I get this right. Your
Okay.
first one from the Killer Robot world was 2009, which Cosmic Potato, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you said that was all CGI.
Yep. All CGI
What?
except for the characters, on the
Yeah,
green screen and stuff.
Roger. And then after that was 2016 Crash and Burn.
Hmm.
Most of that was all practicals
Yep.
with a little bit of embellishing here, whatever.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But then Robotica Destructiva, you
Hmm.
went back to your CGI roots.
Yeah. Went back to CGI. I mean, you still have the robot characters. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think pretty much all the spaceships and settings were CGI. I use this program called Element 3D where
Okay.
you can get like different like different models and bash them together and create
Yeah.
different settings and stuff. So
My
that
daughter was right.
oh yeah.
I could have sworn that the ships were actual physical models.
Oh yeah.
Because I saw the first one, which was Robotica Destructiva, and I was like, he at least has to have the little models because they look like they're shaking, like if somebody was pulling them on a
Oh
string.
yeah.
I was like, they gotta be physical models, and then she's like, no, it's CGI. I'm gonna ask her, but now you're
you
just
know
like, yeah,
there were some robots in there because I figured out with like stop motion because I don't know if you watch like an old Harryhausen movie where there's that weird jitter when like a
yeah,
dinosaur is moving and stuff, and I figured out how to do that with CGI. The robot CGI robots is
uh,
I would because in CGI it makes it all even, so it's all
mm,
smooth. So I would just go in and just tweak every step a little bit, so it messed it up. So it messed up the timing when they're going around. So all of a sudden you'd have this weird jitter when they're moving
yeah.
around and stuff. So, but
Okay, so that's
yeah,
what got me.
yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
I did
So
sneak in. Go
go,
on.
go, go. No, no, go, go.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of stop motion characters at the end. There's one that kind of he's got one big red eye, and there's like there's what's his name, Desicron, and then there's Morgan on one side, and there's like the stop motion character that kind of steps in real quick. Then he turns around and he gets impaled and dragged out within like a second. And that was him. And then there's another one with Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah.
His head is projected on this disc of this one robot, and he's like not he's very very primitive animated robot there, but there I worked in two stop motion characters.
How was that? How was working with Lloyd? How was that?
Well, I wasn't actually there. Crystal, who played the character called Luna,
Oh,
she had moved to New York, so she actually went down to Troma Studios and shot his footage and recorded his voice and stuff. Yeah, she had a great time. I guess they took her on the tour of the studio.
Now, was it hard? Because I mean, you're in Florida,
Mhm.
so like pitching the idea to Lloyd, which is again, a lot of us, he's the grandfather of
Oh
lo-fi,
yeah, right, right.
freaking, low budget filmmaking. How was that pitching something that you had from where you're at and be like, hey, dude, would you like to be involved in this or what?
Yeah, I just asked him and he said yes, and then it was just the matter of scheduling because I think Crystal tried to catch him at the Troma Dance Film Festival, and I think he
Uh,
showed up a little late and went straight to his table, so that didn't pan out, and so we just worked out the scheduling so she could go down to the studio and do that. That was the only problem, really. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lloyd seems like he's like a very accessible film producer
yeah.
compared to a lot of people that's in
Okay.
the industry. He'll return your calls and he'll probably be in your movie too if if you can work it out with him. Get
That's
the
awesome.
scheduling.
That's crazy, man. Because yeah, going back to the question I had earlier about the timeline. You could see the progression. And no offense, and when I first saw the first one, the Cosmic Potato
Oh yeah.
to Crash and Burn, I was like, wow, there's a big disparity
Oh
there of
yeah.
one from just CGI or VFX to practicals. I was like, not only that, but I mean, the quality was so distinct. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then
And we
after
were
that,
saying the same thing when we first saw the first footage of the crash and burn. We're like, wow, this looks a lot different. Yeah, it definitely yeah, it was definitely a jump. The first one we shot it on a little mini DV camera,
uh-huh.
and it was like yeah, we really didn't know what we were doing, and but I'm still happy with it. It's just this goofy pop
Yeah.
culture looking thing, and and we knew what to do after that. It's like okay, don't do any CGI. We'll just make everything.
Well,
and yeah,
okay. With that in mind, though, you just said it right now. Robotica Destructiva. You went back to your roots of CGI.
yeah,
Why did you decide to do that when Crash and Burn was very well done practically?
right. Well, it took a really long time to make all those models, and they were just everywhere, and and yeah, my house looks like a big giant robot exploded. It's just they're still there. But yeah, it was like there were some parts where I could like when you build your set and you photograph everything, and it's like you're pretty much limited to that angle,
Yeah.
and you can kind of move it around in After Effects, but it kind of looks weird. And so what I did is I tried out Element 3D, and it had like and it looked way better than the Cosmic Potato
Hmm.
stuff I did like years ago. So, and it had the added benefit of like after I filmed all the characters and got them into After Effects, and I set up my CGI set on Element 3D, I was able to move it around, and if it didn't look right, I could just basically just move it around, and I was done,
Okay.
and it looked good to me. So yeah,
No, I mean
like
again, I loved it. I really loved it. But yeah, you could definitely see the difference though. Again, well,
right,
besides the fact that your first one, the Cosmic Potato, was I guess your entry level into the film world as opposed to
right.
now, you could see the big difference. But between the last two films, the one in 2016 and the one in 2023, you could
Mhm.
still see some differences, but it was still within almost the same world where you're like, okay, cool.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
improved because he's improved. Like all of us
Hmm.
should improve, but you
Right.
haven't gone so far to where you know For example, Star Wars, the prequels look way better, and they look so much more cleaner, so much more nicer, so much more everything, more crisper, more. And I'm like,
Right.
you kind of throw again, you get taken out of that whole world of like, well, we were here, why are we back here, and so forth. So, but yeah, no,
Right.
you did
Yeah.
great, man. Now, did you go to school
Cool.
for this?
See, I went to a little school in Melbourne, Florida. I think it's called Florida Metropolitan University right now. It was called Phillips Junior College way back in the day. But yeah, it was back in the early 90s, so they didn't have any of the computer editing yet. And so it was very I think they were still using I think they're called Umatic 3/4 inch tapes, like
Oh,
for
wow.
and these gigantic cameras. But that was pretty cool, because you, you could see how the technology back then was basically your in order to edit, you had to copy a tape to another tape, and
Yeah.
there was all this syncing up, yeah, stuff to, so by the time you're done with your project, it was like 3 or 4 generations down, if you had
Wow.
any kind of effects or anything like that. But yeah, when I first heard about like computerized editing, where they're talking about, oh, you just drag and drop, and I was like, what? How do you do that? Yes, I didn't believe it. I was like, that's not real. You upload it into a computer,
Wow.
you don't lose
So,
anything.
so you're all self-taught then?
uh, oh yeah, yeah. Or well,
Well,
YouTube.
at least for like computer.
What's that?
So a lot of this, what you've been doing for your films, are actually self-taught.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
Man, dude.
yeah, YouTube tutorials can, you'll just, if you look for them, it's like if you have something in your mind that you want to create, you're like, how do I do that? And just start typing into YouTube. Something will
That's
come
so
up.
crazy.
Yeah.
So how long did it actually from like when you shoot it to, well, let's go back a little bit more.
Okay.
Building the costumes, because a lot of it, again, if you look at the film, guys, you'll see that most of it is actually built from scratch, like literally built from scratch. How long does it take for you to design to build and then getting ready to shoot? That just that
See,
one process.
well, the original costumes for the band it was like a couple months. We just it was kind of sort of designed and sort of made up as we went along. We were building them out of fiberglass and everything you could imagine. And like Trog, there's the big guy with the big fists.
Yeah,
He had 2 buckets, and with these like we carved the fist out of foam, and just covered them with fiberglass, and so yeah, it was a couple months. Mostly after work, we come out and we start sanding fiberglass and stuff. Now for the movies, like Crash and Burn, there's so many costumes. You just kind of do a quick drawing and then go to Home Depot and buy some like plastic sign material,
yeah.
and get goop, duct tape, and zip ties, and a bunch of spray paint, and just go crazy. Like there's one character, he's got spikes on his shoulders. We just got some little cones,
Yeah,
glued them on there, and you get like Chinese food containers, and you can glue them all over the place, or any kind of packaging,
yeah.
just that has those weird shapes where you might buy like a tool or something, and
Uh-huh.
so it has a shape in the plastic. So you cut that out, glue it on, and spray paint it up silver, and like add some like black in there to make it look rough, and before you know it, it looks like a big old robot.
Man,
And
you went through a lot of silver paint.
oh yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of silver
yeah.
paint.
Yeah, I wonder how
Now,
much is in my lungs.
as far as like with the robots, the four guys, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The main major characters, have they kept the same? I thought they did. Have they kept the same character? And how do you uh call for continuity between each film as far as like the costumes go?
Well, the movies are kind of their own separate entity. They don't
Mm,
really lead into each other, so we don't have to worry about continuity. But the costumes do look. You can tell they're changing with
Yeah.
each movie. Like Strobo, I think is he's got some parts on top of his chest piece that are just dangling in this movie and
Yeah.
Robotica Destructiva. And yeah, something falls off or something in between movies and during shows. So there's a little bit of difference. You might they actually yeah, they just look more beat up every movie.
Yeah, because I was gonna say this last one, I think I was Trouble who had this little dangling thing
Yeah,
throughout the whole movie, and I was like,
it
I
kind of
was
fit his personality in the movie because he seems like he's just over everything. It's just like,
yeah. But I do gotta say, my favorite has to be Trog. Just
oh
big
yeah,
muscle.
that's
Rah,
everybody's
rah.
favorite. Yeah, they
Yeah, he
everybody
just
can identify with Trog for some reason. Something
it
about it.
is because he doesn't really say much. He just
Right.
goes with it. If he can't fix it, he breaks it, and if he
Yeah,
can't breaks
yeah.
it,
That's a great description. I like that.
But yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you because I was looking on my other screen. As far as like the girls in Robotica, a lot of them are wearing what I'm imagining like silver paint or
Yeah. Right.
okay,
Silver makeup. Yeah.
silver makeup. So a lot of this again goes back to practical applications.
Oh
You didn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
any, you
Yeah. Once
know,
it comes to like they got these humanoid robot characters,
mm,
it's all yeah, makeup. They almost kind of look like silent movie makeup in a way.
yeah,
But yeah, and yeah, plastic gluing stuff together and watching stuff fall off and then you go stop everything, glue it back on and there's always something.
man, it's just crazy because yeah, I would love to see the behind. I saw one little documentary you had on your site, on your Vimeo site, on the behind the scenes and how you made the animation one. But
Okay.
I would love to see a behind the scenes of all your films from the beginning to now.
Oh yeah.
Using the green screen, building these sets.
No,
Are
that's a
you
good
ever going to put
idea.
anything out like that,
Yeah,
or
I did do something short. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube. It's called The Construction of Destruction and does like a little brief overview. Not really a behind the scenes of like a production, but there's like an overview of the whole series and the project. But yeah, we've talked about doing like a documentary, but that's a good idea though, like a like a in-depth behind the scenes of the show. We did some little stuff like there's one, it's like it shows the process of one of the shots from Crash and Burn, where this character Rhea is jumping around, getting shot at by robots and running around a wall. And it starts out, shows her on the green screen, running on a treadmill
yeah,
and jumping around. Then it shows it where she's cut out from the background, and then it just keeps going, building up to where you see how it all comes together. And I
nice.
forget what we call that, but if you search around YouTube on the Killer Robots YouTube, it's on there.
I'm gonna do that, and I'll probably paste it on the one of the links
Oh
that you
yeah,
have
yeah.
on there. Real quick, let's take a break. For those of you who are listening, it's just gonna quick pause because I got to reload the video. For those of you watching, again, in a split second, we'll be back at it again. So again, we are here with Sam Gaffin. Gaffin.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I fucked it up, didn't I?
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's one of the names I have. Giffen,
Giffen, yeah,
Gaffin, Griffith.
Gaffin, the director of Killer Robots, Crash and Burn, Killer Robots and the Battle for Cosmic Potato, and the recent one, Robotica Destructiva. I love saying that name. It's just like
Yeah, I
but
like the
yeah,
way you say
again, we'll be right back, guys. So stay tuned. All right, now we're back.
Now we're back.
Now we're back. Cool, man. So we were talking right before the break about a lot of stuff. Mainly, again, the costuming, the idea where the film came from, a little bit about your band, but we haven't gone to the soundtrack yet, and that plays a big important role, I think, as far as movie wise. What made you pick, aside from again have been electronic because it is outer space, more techie, whatnot. The feel and the mood, the type of music for these particular type of films that you have so far?
Um, let's see. I can go by movie.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see. Uh, see, Cosmic Potato. I can't remember
Mhm.
what what I did for that one. I think I was taking some of the songs I was writing for Killer Robots, and I was turning those into longer electronic pieces to fit with that movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to remember how the music went. Yeah, I remember there's a couple of Killer Robot songs that I stretched out into, and then there was some stuff that came directly from the band, and that's all I remember from that one.
Now, real quick before you go on. Now, the guys in the band are not necessarily the guys in the film, right?
Oh, they're in the film too. Yeah, all those
But
Trog is in the band, Strobo's in the band, and Max. See, Strobo's the one with he's got these wires on his shoulders, and he's got a big bulb,
yeah,
red
the
bulb.
big red bulb in the front. Yeah.
Strobo, and then Trog, of course, is the big fist, and Max is the one. He's got these tubes coming off his
Yeah, the ones almost flare from his elbows. Yeah.
yeah, and he flies around. See, he was a keyboardist at first, and he became the drummer. And then Trog, he was kind of a drummer at first. He would we had this we bought a little kid's drum set, and we put it out and on stage, and he would come out with a big fist, and he would stand in front of it, and we'd do like a countdown. And so, people would be like, "Oh, how's he going to play that drum set?" And once this started, he just bashed it to pieces, and pieces would go everywhere. And every show we would do that, but we'd lose a piece of the drum set because someone
Yeah.
would find it and they'd take it home. So eventually, it was just gone. So, yeah, we so yeah, Max moved to drums eventually.
Okay.
And then Trog he just kind of, we'd have people dressed up as monsters, and their heads would be filled with candy. The heads were like paper mache that would be on top of their real head.
Yeah.
And Trog would he'd come out and he'd smash the candies, the basically pinatas, mid bash them open, and people would dive in and grab the candy, and
Nice.
yeah. There was a couple of close concussions, but I think everybody's okay.
Nice. You haven't got any sues, so you're good.
Sue us for all our candy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the second movie, music for a second movie.
Oh, music for a second movie. Yeah, I was going to try to do an orchestral soundtrack. So I work with FL Studio, which used to be called Fruity Loops, and I got a huge sample pack of orchestral sounds. So I was going to try to make it sound like a Basil Polidorus soundtrack, like the guy did Conan and RoboCop, and
Okay.
I don't know if I got anywhere close to that, but
No.
No. So it's yeah, so I missed the target on that, but I feel like we got something different, and
It was a very distinct sound. Now those last one, Robotica Destructiva. Talk about the music for that one.
Music for that one, I just got into electronic music from Kraftwerk. There's some guys like Vangelis, God, who else was there? John Michael Jarre, and there's also there's a whole the genre of synthwave that's coming out, and so yeah, I just kind of jumped into that, got really into that, and kind of snowballed from there.
Nice.
Watching, a lot of times I just watched a movie. I'm constantly making up different music and songs and stuff, but I'll watch the movie and I'll try to get a feel for it, and then okay, this song will work in this part, and that's basically how that works. And I tried to keep using certain themes for certain situations, and in this movie anyway. And I think in Crash and Burn, just had a bunch of songs and just okay, that one there, okay, this one here. Just kept going.
but
Yeah.
but it worked. Like it's a mosh posh, just jumbled mess, but
Mhm.
it's a good mess. It's
Yeah,
a
I like
really
that.
good. It's a really good mess.
Uh,
Oh, hold
I
on,
kind
hold
of
on.
like that description. Yeah, there's some of my favorite movies I'd say are like a big cool mess. Like I don't know if you ever seen Ricky O, the story of
No,
Ricky. Yeah, I'll
no.
send you a link.
Okay.
It's amazing. Or you'll hate it. I don't know. One of those.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because I grew up in the 80s, 90s ish.
Yeah.
So a lot of these movies, like when you say, you reach back and you pull some of those movies
Mhm.
or movie moments or tropes and stuff that you liked from that era.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down with all that because I see
Right.
certain things and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, okay, cool. That's yeah, all right. So it's a comfort for me because one, I get to see the actual hands-on, tangible people. Even though yes, you're it's almost like a cut and paste, little
Right.
action figure that you're doing, but it's well done till you're like, that's what I'm used to when I was growing up. That's the
Right.
movies that we saw.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, dude, it's I
yeah.
really enjoyed it a lot, bro.
Oh, thanks,
Um,
man. It was it's so much fun to put together, and you kind of get a feeling it's going to work, and it's great to hear that it connects. Yeah.
it did, man. Now I got a question for you because, and I don't have experience in this, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna ask you. Um, some of the filming that you did was on green screen, I imagine, right?
Mhm. Right, right.
How did you work with your actors? And again, not that it's not a serious movie, but it's
Mhm.
not a drama, so
Right.
nobody's like crying. Oh, ¿por qué? But at the same time, you still have to believe that the character you're seeing on the screen is that character, right? So
Right,
how
right.
do you go about in this type of film to be able to tell your actor, look, you are Trog,
Right,
and even though you don't see shit behind you, it's just green. This is
right.
where we're at, and so forth. How do you go about that process?
Mostly it's the actors. They're just it, I think my experience with actors so far is if they've got the enthusiasm to do it, that they're in it. They don't seem to have a problem pretending that they're on another planet and they're a robot. I haven't really run into anybody that's run into had trouble getting into character. I don't know what maybe it's the makeup or the
Yeah.
costume, and they're just okay, we're there. And I tell them, okay, over there's a giant robot with machine guns for hands, and he's shooting at you, and this is your line, and they they usually know what to do. I don't know what it is. I wish I could say it was me and I directed them into these performances, but yeah, it just I don't know, it just happens.
Nice, nice. A little bit of humbleness there. I'll take it. I'll take it. Nice. Yeah, because a lot of times I hear people like, oh, it's so hard to get into character when it's just green and there's nothing there to give you motivation. I'm like, I don't know. I'd be hyped up wearing all this
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
gear and like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like everybody wants to do a good job too. It's like and even even a lot of them that are non-actors, they
uh,
want to they they want to get to that point where they sound like they're actually delivering the lines and they're a real character.
yeah.
That's what. Yeah, that seems like. Yeah, it seems like everybody just wants to get to that. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but yeah, they want to do a good job.
No, no, I get you. I totally get you. And I'm gonna say you have been blessed. You have been blessed to be able to have a cast that's in it, mentally and there. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
badass. Let's talk a little bit about budget. Because I know you said you pieced it together.
right, right.
How did you go about fundraising or funding the film? Did you do fundraising? Did you do?
It's just out of pocket. Yeah, it was like a lot of it's well, I should mention John and Laurel Schumann who own Dead Spider Studios in
Okay.
Apopka, which is and which is basically their garage.
Yeah.
They're kind enough to move all their lawn equipment out of the way and let us set up our green screen and film there. And so that's a huge part of budget that you know to rent a soundstage somewhere would probably, I don't think we would have been able to pull it together, but
Uh-huh.
because of them we were able to do that. So that, and then we got to feed everybody. So it might be pizza, or we'll go to Waffle House afterwards or something like that.
Oh man, I'm down. Waffle House.
so, so yeah, it's if gas money, if they want gas money to get back home somehow, so we'll provide that. And that's mainly, and the rest of it's just time, time,
Yeah.
putting it together. So yeah, but yeah, it would be nice to raise a budget just to be able to cover things like a little bit for everybody to you know for their time and stuff. But maybe we'll get something together in the future. I haven't even tried fundraising yet.
No?
No.
Oh, you're crazy, dude. So
Yeah, I know.
all of this has come out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I have to look into that for the next one.
Man. Now,
Shot.
what about like I know I think it was this last one, Robotica, you had a screening at a theater, right?
Uh-huh.
Was that part of like your whole, process, or um I don't know, did y'all plan any marketing? Because again, it appeared on my Facebook feed. So I don't know if once you had the screening, talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay. Morgan, who played one of the characters, who was I don't know if you remember the character Mohana. He had a big giant collar, and he had two backup dancers that were floating
Oh
behind
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. I know which one you're talking
She
about.
played one of
That
the
was a
backup
really
dancers.
that was a really good. I like the organs. It looked like he had an
Oh
organ
yeah,
behind it.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does look like organs.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Morgan, she was friends with well, she's still friends with him, but Tim Anderson over at the Enzion, which is a theater here in Orlando, Florida, or Maitland, Florida, actually, and they play like art house movies
Yeah.
and a lot of like cult movies and stuff. So she got us talking to him, and so that's how we set that up. And then all the marketing for that pretty much came from them and what they were doing, and I just kind of followed on what they were doing. And so yeah, I'm also terrible at marketing, so I gotta work on it.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Oh,
so,
I swear you are the luckiest.
yeah, I mean, right. I've got some stuff planned for Robotica Destructiva that that I'll be learning at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos on
Oh,
every step I take. So
okay.
and so as I'm learning how to do it, I'll have record of it, and I'll put it up on YouTube eventually. And what I'll do is I'll try one thing, see how it works out, show the results of it, and so I've got, as soon as I get everything quiets down, I can focus on it.
I get you. I get you. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm gonna maybe I'm shooting my own self in the foot for giving you this, but I want to help out here. I know you do 3D modeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of doing like a 3D model action figure of your four main characters and printing them out and then like kind of selling those as collector's items?
Yeah, he's always saying that. He's like, we gotta have action figures.
Dude, I would buy an action figure of one, actually all four of them, because you had to collect the whole series, man.
Right.
But
All right, I'm gonna write it down. Action
bro,
figure.
You do modeling. That's easy for you. You get on the computer like 5 minutes later, bam, you have a model
Oh,
of your well, actually you even have the models already made up
oh
because you have
yeah,
the
we got the cartoon
animation.
characters. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah,
Right. I don't know what's going on.
Sam, you're fired. You're not allowed to make any more
Yeah.
films.
It's so many parts, dude. It's like, oh my God,
So so going with that, do you have a team or is this like you are the team of what was your company called again? Hold on, let me
oh, Lushy Lemming.
yeah. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you?
pretty much. Depends what the guys are doing, like um sometimes when I need something from them, I'll call them up. Like it's like I need a voice on this song over here. Can you do that? And be like, all right, come out and add it in.
I'm telling you, you're lucky, Sam.
And,
I hate you. I hate you. I'm deleting this podcast. I hate
okay,
you. Future plans for the next sequel, trequel, next set of movies.
yeah,
Are
I
you
think
ever going to link the world of killer robots?
that might be fun to do. Now I got another one I'm working on. It's going to be kind of similar to the last two movies. It's going to be a lot of green screen. I'm probably going to try out some more stop motion characters and
Okay.
try those out. And Trog, the guy who plays Trog, he really wants to do one that's not on green screen and in the real world.
Uh-huh.
So I've got another idea about that where they come to Earth and there's some adventures happening and stuff. So I
Nice.
was thinking of maybe filming those simultaneously. So 5 years from now, instead of just one movie, we'll have two.
Nice. I'm down. Oh man, that'd be so cool. Again, dude, watching it's crazy because I wish everybody could watch these movies. And you know what? It was I liked the music and it went well. And again it kind of threw me back to the old Kiss movies that had a storyline, but it was really, really scientific sci-fi kind of out there craziness.
Mhm.
The Rocket Horror Picture Show, same thing. All those movies that kind of again going back to the 80s, mentality of films that are crazy and are out there and they're badass. They're cult classics. So that's where I was like, man, dude, why is he not making more big, just blowing up big time? Now, with that said, and I'm sorry, I'm really scatterbrained. With that said, do you find yourself that, and I know people ask you continuously, hey, when's the next one coming out? But you're like, I want to venture out something new because you've done other films, right? You've done a horror flick.
Little short films. Yeah, there was Zombie Deborah and Wrath of the Minotaur,
Yeah.
both
So
with Crystal, who plays Luna in Robotica Destructiva.
cool, cool. So with that, I mean, do you find yourself that you're kind of almost being pigeonholed into like, oh, you're the Robotica guy, you're the crazy robot director?
Yes, I I've got some other projects I want to do, but I do find that the robot movies are really easy to write and put together because I just know the guys' personalities and I know and it just kind of falls together. So I think that's why I keep going and doing robot movies because it just seems like it just seems like it fall right into it and stuff. So, but I do have some horror movies I'm gonna got on the list to do. So I'll probably try to fit them in between while we film other stuff. Basically, that's
Kind of,
what I did with the other short movies, Zombie Deborah and Wrath of the Minotaur. Just when there was like downtime between robot shoots, I'd film that stuff, and those seem to come together really quick too.
nice. What's your favorite horror genre?
Horror genre, probably sci-fi horror.
Ah, you going back to sci-fi? No,
I know
okay.
I can't get
Aside from
away.
sci-fi,
I know my favorite horror movies. I'd say like Evil Dead is a favorite, and I don't know if you've ever seen Phenomena by Dario Argento.
Yeah.
That's a great one if you catch that one. It's got Jennifer Connelly plays this student at, I think it's a girls' school or something, and she controls insects. And Donald Pleasance is in it, and he's I think he's a wheelchair bound insect expert, and he's got a monkey that's like his assistant, helps him out, and it just keeps getting crazier. As like there's like this mutant child they've got locked away in this like terrible room. Like, I can't remember the plot, but I just remember everything. Of course, it's got music by Iron Maiden and Motorhead, and Goblin is doing parts of the soundtrack. And you check it out. It's like,
no, I gotta look it up.
One of those movies where it's just like, I think we're.
What was the name again?
It's called I think it's Phenomena. Phenomena. Okay.
Jennifer Connelly, Donald Pleasant. It was 1985.
Yeah.
Why did they rename it Creepers? Did they rename it Creepers?
Oh yeah, it's called Creepers also. That was another alternate title.
Okay.
It might have been released as Creepers in the US.
Yeah. Feature music by Iron Maiden and Motorhead. That is crazy. I'd never heard of this. Bro, you just turned me on to something new here, and I'm gonna hate you for this, but
yeah, I think that the Creepers version might have been the first one I saw, and it was a little bit shorter than the Phenomena version.
Yeah, he's got a really good cast there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's crazy. All right, I'm sorry. I get distracted. I'm like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah. That's okay. I want everybody to watch that movie.
No, man. Everybody should be watching your films, bro.
Oh, yeah. I want to watch my movie, too. Right afterwards, go check out
that. Okay, so let's recap real quick. Because I want to make sure we've been talking for a little bit. Your movies. Let me go back here. Your feature films, 3 of them right now. Right. The first one, 2009, Killer Robots and the Battle for the Cosmic Potato. After that, shortly released, the Killer Robots Crash and Burn 2016, of which you said none of these films kind of lock in or coincide with each other.
Yeah,
they're all standalone. Okay. So y'all don't have to watch them all together. My advice is only watch the two. No, I was kidding. And then this last one is Robotica Destructiva 2023. Right?
Yep.
And on your site, you could actually look him up, samgaffin.com, or you could go to Killer Robots, I think. Killer Robots
.tv.
Where else can you go? You could go on Vimeo, look him up.
Yeah, Vimeo. YouTube's got a bunch of stuff on Killer Robots YouTube.
I know Tubi. Tubi is one of them where you can find your movie.
Tubi's got Crash and Burn, and if it might be a week from now, but I think Robotica Destructiva is going to be on Tubi also.
Oh man, you're gonna break in, because okay, we're gonna make sure we put those in there. And then also on Amazon, if you want to buy the DVD, you could buy. I know I'm going to put my order in for. I didn't see Destructiva. Was it?
It's not on DVD yet.
No, right?
I still got to work on that one. Get all the stuff together, all the bloopers and extra stuff to put in. On it. But
I know the Crash and Burn is on DVD.
Yeah, that's on.
And Blu-ray.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. What about Battle for the Cosmic Potato? I didn't see a physical release.
There's a bunch of them in my closet back here. Let me just write me and I'll hook you up.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna have to write you, because I was hoping, but then again, like I said, I didn't find any physical release for Robotica, because what I've been doing with everybody recently, I've been purchasing other films I'm going to send them to y'all so you can sign them and then send them
Oh, yeah,
back.
okay.
Because I want to start a collection back here on my wall of like fame of all of y'all. Because once y'all make it big and y'all have these like Netflix releases and stuff, I'm like, yeah,
yeah, that'd be
I know that guy.
clean up on eBay.
It's like I actually know how to get in contact with him directly.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
don't have
sign
to go through
for
Facebook.
it.
Man. But so again, future projects, you do have a couple of them. You're not gonna tell us anything because that's top secret, and then you have to kill us. Your band. Let's talk about your band real quick. You have two albums out, right?
Just one album. Well, actually,
One of
no,
them?
the soundtrack album. Yeah, you're right.
Ah, see, I
Soundtrack.
know how to cyberstalk.
Oh, I should mention that there's a song on the soundtrack of Crash and Burn that Strobo Samuel Williams wrote. It's called Convergence. If you remember it at the end, it's like the big song where they're going back and through dimensions and stuff, and and he actually plays the blues guy that's playing blues music inside the chicken coop. I don't know if he got that far, but but yeah, I want to make sure everybody knows he wrote that song, and he also wrote the song at the end of Robotica Destructiva called Destiny Acoustic, and it's like an acoustic song he sings at the end. That was Samuel Williams, aka Strobo.
So yeah, you have two albums, or the band has two albums. You could buy them, download them, pirate them through through Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and iTunes, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Cool. Comic book. Yes, you have a comic book. It's a digital photo comic. If you want to look at it, you go to his website, samgaffin.com/comics. You can check it out there. Can we order a physical or is just digital?
Yeah, it's just digital right now.
Just digital.
Got some drawn stuff in the works. So
okay.
Maybe the next year, 2 years, 3 years might see it. But, yeah.
And then you could also email him so you could get a little action figures because he's coming out with action figures next month. I'm going to lock you into that. I'm going to hold you to that, Sam.
I'm going to look into that.
3D print your action figures of your four main characters. You should do it. I'll buy them. But I like I said, I really love your movies, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Now, with all that said, any special thanks, or anybody who's inspired you that you'd like to shout out real quick?
Yeah, I want to thank the cast. There was Amber Belko who played Mitra, Crystal Theron who played Luna. There's Tori Martin who played Azala. She was also in Crash and Burn, and so we brought her back for because she didn't have any lines in it. She was kind of part of a group of mercenaries, and a couple of people made comments online. I like the girl with this is a terrible movie, but I like the girl with the blue hair. So I'm like, well, you got three of them.
She's your Boba Fett. She is your Boba Fett, bro.
Yeah, we brought her back. Yeah, I think we were watching the movie Crash and Burn at SuperCon in Miami, and her character, I think her character died at one point, and everybody, a bunch of people just went, ah. So I was like, oh, guess I'll bring her back.
Nice.
But yeah, she was awesome, and of course the guys in the band and Morgan for hooking us up with the Enzion, and I'm probably forgetting a bunch of people, but I usually have a list of shout outs, but it's nowhere in sight.
That's all right, because we're gonna bring you back, man. This is the first and not the last, definitely. Especially because again, you have projects, and I love your film, and it's a continued love affair of projects that you have, and I'm pretty sure, everybody who's around you, and it sounds like it, feels the same love, the same passion for these characters, this world that you've created, brother. Because otherwise, I mean, man, you got everything going on. That's badass.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Cool, man. Oh, real quick, before I forget, and my time's running out, but I want to ask you real quick because you brought
Yeah.
this up. When you were in a live screening and you heard that awe and that the comments behind you, how did that make? And the only reason I ask, because when I had my screening, to hear when people are supposed to laugh, when people are supposed to do what that hit those beats, I was like, yeah, I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
something
yeah,
cool.
exactly. Yeah.
How was your feeling?
Yeah, it was a yeah. There was a lot of that where you hear it and you go, yeah, that's it. But there is one line where there's a character, Babette Bombshell,
Uh-huh.
this cult actress plays different type of character. He was in it's the movie Return to Nukem High, but he plays
Okay.
a character called Ursula Andromeda, who's like this kind of taskmaster,
Yeah.
works in mines, and she's spinning through the air, and I figured instead of using what they call the Wilhelm scream, that famous
Uh-huh.
scream they reused,
Yeah.
I just had her yell Wilhelm scream, and which I thought was hilarious, but it was
Yeah.
dead silence in the theater. I was just like,
Nobody caught that.
yeah. They like the what a world from the Wizard of Oz, the
Yeah.
melting witch. But yeah, nobody's caught the Wilhelm,
The helm scream.
the yeah,
Uh,
the
I mean, you
spell.
can't win them all.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, there was a lot of good jokes there that was I thought were good jokes, and they seemed to hit well. So I'm trying to think of what they were, but I can't remember.
Well, I mean, again, you can't win them all, but you have won us over here at Film News. And I do appreciate and thank you for
Yeah.
the time that you spent with us this last hour or so talking. And man, guys, again, click on the links, follow Sam, go to see his films, his 3 films, or the most recent film, which is again Robotica Destructiva. I like seeing that so much. Killer Robots and the Battle for the Cosmic Potato, and Killer Robots Crash and Burn. Again, you could either find them on Amazon, on Tubi. If you can't find them, you ain't looking. When you do find them and you watch them, please hit the like, hit the reshare, leave a comment, leave a critique, rate them, because it helps us as independent filmmakers raise up that metadata, support indie filmmakers, and that's the best way you could do it. So watch, re-like, all that good stuff. Hit recycle so it could keep playing over and over.
Also, Troma Now also has a bunch of movies on there.
Do they?
Yeah, Crash and Burn, Cosmic Potato, and I think Robotica Destructive is going to be on there now. So if you have a Troma Now subscription, or if you want to get one, there you go.
There you go. Nice. I like how you slid it in there. Yes. All right, Sam. Thank you again for all your time. Thank you for being with us. And hopefully we could bring you back once you get those action figures, bro.
Oh
action
yeah. I'll work on that.
And I'll be hitting you up so I could get my copy of what is called the Cosmic Potato. Yes. All right. Until next time, film noobs, please again hit the like, share, subscribe. Follow these damn awesome filmmakers. There's a lot of hard work, passion, sweat, blood, tears goes into these movies. And the only way we could continue is if you just hit fucking 9 out of 10, hit 5 out of fucking 3, whatever. Just support them, support every single one of them. You don't necessarily have to buy it, but hell, you could retweet it, Facebook these guys. They deserve it. So until next time, guys. Bye, and hopefully see you again.
All right. Good luck.